This week's episodes were brought to you by the generous support of Eric Sumner. I don't feel like this is a very good way of handling this, but I think that the correct, or a correct way of doing it, doesn't feel like it's the most elegant way. But if we just had a variant distance call wrap east-west, where we still ask for a hex A and a hex B, but then we have to ask for map width, or actually it should be something like num columns. And then we can say something like dq. So the difference in q is this. If dq, the distance in q, is bigger than num columns divided by 2, right? So that would happen if we've got like one tile that's on the left edge, one tile that's on the right. I know it's mirrored image in the webcam, but I'm just going to go with my thing. If one's on the left, one's on the right, it'll give us a distance of, if our map's 60 wide, it'll give us a distance of like 58 or something like that, right? So then what we actually want to do is we want to go and say, no, try 60 minus 58. So try the num columns minus the distance, which is now 2, because that would be the correct distance horizontally. dq is equal to num columns minus dq. And then we do the same code as before, but we use this fixed dq. Suppose we could have wrapped this thing in a min that would do that, but I think that would be kind of awkward. Can we wrap vertically? Well, yeah, so we can. The same thing would happen, or you could have a code that wraps both, just by messing with the R portion of it. I don't like the fact that it's like distinct from this part. And I mean, we could just check these booleans in our distance code, but then that would mean we'd also need to know, we'd have to be told at some point what the world size was here. Right now, the hex has no link to the hex map. And it could, and I guess it should, to make this all... I guess that might be the thing to do. That's probably the best. That lets us keep it all in one way. So now, when you instantiate the hex, I'm going to require that you pass a reference to the hex map. I'm not super happy. I feel like this is, awkward. I feel like there's a more elegant way to do it. Doesn't mean this doesn't work, though. The upshot is then we can say something like hexmap.allow. I guess what we have to do, actually, is change this to be just public is fine. And then yeah, we could set properties for getters and setters and things that probably make sense. Make it a public, and then just have a protected setter or some damn thing. But let's leave it for now. So now, yeah, I can do hexmap.allow, hexmap.allow, and the upshot is we don't need this stupid version that asks for num columns anymore, because we can get that out of the base. So now, instead, assuming that my solution was at all right, which I'm not 100% convinced on. And it's weird because it's got... Yeah, it's fine. Sure, I don't know. I'm not convinced that this is correct. Because then wouldn't we have to adjust the S based on some of these things? feel like we do. I think this is going to have to be revisited because I'm not convinced that I'm doing this correctly. Warning. Probably wrong. But let's move ahead with this regardless. This would be if hex map dot allow, oops, lowercase hex map dot, oh, it's a static. If a dot hex map dot allow wrapping east west, that, wow, why did it move my cursor up there? That was weird. Here. Right, so now when you instantiate a hex, you got to pass it a hex map. Well, if you instantiate it this way. Well, anyway. So this already works because the get at loops around, so that's fine. Probably wrong for wrapping. There you go. I'll have to look properly because, like, yeah, we'll see. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I think we want to do, like, plop some units down there and see what we can do about that. Oh, maybe some forests. Oh, we can do the moisture part of it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, couple of things. Firstly, our hex over here. I want to make the hill hex and the mountain hex. And then I want to figure out forest. So, what we're going to do, actually, is I'm going to close you. Go away. Duplicate. So, hex, hill. Duplicate. Hex. Actually, we'll do the hill first, then. So this one here is going to be our hill. So we don't need the UV mapping. That's going to be fine. Oh, does the slicing tool not just work for this? Interesting. If I take this and I subdivide it. That kind of works for me. What I want to do is just get rid of the face. Oh, just the face in the middle. How do I just split the face? Normally I would use the Control R button. But it doesn't work for the hex. Maybe I can just go and build some edges here. I don't know what this is going to do for me. I have no idea if this is going to do it anywhere remotely close to what I'm looking for. Probably not, because then it's just going to get confused the other way. Ah, has an idea. You form a face. And then we're going to take this thing here and subdivide it in half. So now I have a vertice in the middle of my object. Excellent. Only faces. That's the button I was missing before as well. Okay, and then you and you only faces and edges. Because then... I wonder if I could have just done extrude. Hang on, I've overcomplicated my life. Close this. I can do what I want with an extrude. Edit. Extrude. Upwards. That's what I'm looking for. That's going to be fine. Sorry for the confusion, folks. I just want to get to the point where I've got, like, some geometry I can mess with in the middle. That's all. Yeah, so I can do loop cuts here, but that's it. And then... I'm going to just extrude this part over here, like that, build a face, build a face here. I need to delete that face, and then build one over here. Then I want you to shade smooth, throw maybe a little subdivision in there. Oh, because you'll do the edges, which is not what I want you to do. Cancel that. So I'm just trying to come up with something that's like a little lumpy. You know, just a little lumpy. Whoops. This is going to be wonky because it's not, because this is a weird broken quad. So what we need to do is remove that face and just build some tries over here. I probably should just restart it from a cube and that, because I got to keep the hex edges here exactly where they're supposed to be. Otherwise, weird things will happen. What I'm going to do is anything that looks like it might be a bit of a wonky quad, I'm going to go and explicitly break it down to faces. Oops. There's probably a better way to do this, but that's okay. Won't take too long. And right here, let's just do a little bit of a fan. There. Topography! Shut up, it's fine. So, this is going to be a hill. Hopefully, what we'll do is after we start adding some shadows and stuff to this, we can get it to look appropriately lumpy and avoid the Civ 6 problem where the hills are goddamn hard to see. Like, it's not just me. Hills in Civ 6 are hard to see for some reason. I don't know. Who dat? Katsuhiro, thank you very much for the tip. Hi, dude. Here is a little something for some good brew. Cheers, love your stream. Well, thank you very much. Actually sounds very good. Tonight is board game night, and I will probably need a bit of a beverage to, you know, give my opponents a chance. Yeah, I lose way more than everyone else, actually. We did a great thing. So every Tuesday, my buddies come over. We do board game nights. There's 6 of us. Sometimes we play D&D. Sometimes we play board games. What board games we play can vary depending on how many of us are actually here. Sometimes it's full 6. Sometimes just 5. We decided just to make it more interesting, to make a board game tournament of awesome, where we did 8 games. There were a couple we could fit 2 in one night. I think overall it took about 6 weeks to do. 8 games where you get a point system, like you get points at the end. Normally, like person with the most points wins the game. And, you know, there's always that all-and-nothing nature, and when you're 6 players, most of the time you're not going to win, right? Assuming everyone's equal, you're only going to win 1/6 of the time. Even if you're better than some, maybe 1/3 of the time, so not very often. And there was, like, you know, second place always felt crummy. So instead we did, like, a racing system type thing where you'd get points based on your placing. So we picked games where each players would get ranked in that game, 1st through 6th. And then the first place player would get 10 points, second place would get 8, etc. for our Tournament of Awesome. And so we did that for 8, and then so at the end of the 8-game series, over I think 6 weeks, we were ranked overall in the tournament, first place and everything. So it meant that if you come in second, you still got lots of points overall for the tournament, and that felt really good. And that was cool. And then at the end, what we did is we converted all the points to poker chips and had like a poker tournament to like just sort of randomize it and make it more exciting right at the end, just to shake it up a little bit. But anyway, so we're probably going to do some more of that soon. Do you have, hold on, do you have a face down here? I think you have a face down here. And we do not need a face down here. In fact, we don't even need those edges. There we go. I'll have to fix that in the actual hill. So this is our mountain. So in our mountain, we're just going to take this hill thing that we started setting up, but, you know, taller. We might have had an inverted face there. We're going to have to take a look at that in our hill, because I think it might be a little wonked. Cool. Oh, I should be doing a UV project from view for here. Save view, and yeah, we'll open the hill again, because I think it's got a wonky face, and I forgot to do the UV project. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it only broke when I started manipulating the mountain a whole bunch. Oh, right, but there's still the ones at the bottom here. So, there we are. Whoops. Did I fuck up and remove too much last time, too? I think I did. Hang on, I think I fucked up my mountain. Maybe. No, it's fine. It's weird that the hill wanted to get rid of too much. Okay, that's fine. You select all, UV project from view. There we are. Okay. So now we have multiple models, which means in our hex map, I can say that the mesh for the water is still going to just be the flat thing. That's going to be fine. But the hill is going to be that one, and the mountain's going to be that one over there. So then over here, mesh flat. Really, we don't want to be tuning the material anymore, but we're going to fix that in a second. So this is going to be mesh mountain, mesh hill. Yeah, we'll do the moisture thing next, which will probably just be Perlin noise, I think. So I say, why is it all orange? And then I remembered. Right, the smooth shading on the edges is leading to normals pointing not the way that I want. Oh, the other thing that looks weird is the text is inside the tile. So the default text mesh always renders through things, so it's actually sitting like at the base But yeah, that's because it's a smooth shaded, I think. Although the mountain looks okay. It's only the hills that look all shitty and stupid. I probably have to fix the normals. Show me the normals. Do. Oh. See, I need these to be pointing straight up. How do I do that? Guys, how do I do that? I mean, maybe it's fine. There's definitely something wonky going on, though. Just your standard normal metallic hill. Yeah, well, changing the shine will probably help too. It does look like it's a weird shiny like gummy because you can see the text inside. It's kind of funny. But that might be part of it. So we want to change our material for our everything. Well, I guess not the water. There we go. Like no smoothness, just totally matte. And that does save in between, so that's going to be okay. I mean, after we add actual proper texture, some of these things that'll look better too, but there we go. So we've got kind of lumpy hills. We're not going to deal with blending the colors. That's another thing that can be done, but that's not going to be inside of the scope of this. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but there we go. Delete bottom center vert. It's smooth because of that. Oh, maybe. Yes, probably you're right. Or did we get it? I don't think there's a vert there anymore. Yeah, no, it's gone. Yeah, so, I mean, one of the things you can do... So, again, there's going to be a disconnect between the... like, right now we're color-coding the hills green just because, but that's not actually going to be true. So now everything is yellow, and it's like... Yeah, okay. We can work on, like, the shine and different shit. We're going to... At some point, we're going to apply actual textures to this, you know, make them look grassy and things. I think that'll start to look a little bit better. But... we're looking at the mechanics of things, not the necessary visuals of things, because God knows visuals are not my strong suit. But we have an interesting world now, mountains and hills. Let's get the moisture code in here. So in our continents over here, we're going to do the same code over here. Hey, I don't have to set the mesh here. It's going to be fine. The same code over here. Per line noise, loop through everything, but we're going to set the moisture parameter. So all that there, and instead of elevation, we set moisture. We'll just set it directly. One thing to keep in mind is we should probably figure out, like, this is not going to be realistic. We're not going to do higher moisture near the water's edge. You're not looking at mountains. Rivers might come later on, but so it's not necessarily going to be a realistic thing. We're just doing some sort of noise, and we're going to make sure, well, it's already going to be a different random offset from the other one, but we probably want a different noise resolution of some kind. And then over here, so we are going to use the elevation to set the mesh. And then we're going to do something very similar to this for the moisture. Where the most moisturous is going to be, I guess, rainforest. Not that we actually have that, so it'll just be the same as forest, but forest, grasslands. Obviously, we'll also only do this if it's above. So if h dot elevation is greater or equal to 0, so only if it's above sea level, which I guess is height flat there. Only if it's greater than or equal to, whoops, height flat, then we're going to check moisture amounts. So rainforest, forest, grasslands, moisture plains, and otherwise it's going to get the desert. The desert. So get rid of all the mesh references, because we're not tuning that. So this is the plains, matte grasslands. So the forest is actually going to be a little bit different, because it's going to get the grasslands material and also to do spawn forests. And spawn rainforest, or call it jungle. That's better. Moisture jungle. Like that. Okay. Public float. There you go. Forest, grasslands, plains, desert. Well, actually, there's no moisture desert. It's this. And if it's above 1. Is that all of them? Did I forget any? Oh, I need material for the desert. Which again, we'll need like textures and things later on, but oh, there's marsh, that's true. Isn't moist plains just swamp? That's true. I don't know how we deal with the swamp thing, but let's ignore it for now. Here, we'll make you a little bit sort of a light green. Grasslands are super green. So, what happens if I hit play now? What happens? Stop selecting everything. I didn't realize that. I'm still doing that. Well, look at that. Hey, I want to say a great big thank you to all the June Patreon supporters and these Mic Check supporters. We've got Yukofin, Eric Sumner, Tiburon, Mighty Mix, Pavel Zdanov, Drazion, Michael McClintock, Aaron Toyson, Craig Mortel, The Not So Evil Engineer, Julien Auger-Lafont, Marius Fieldvold, Speedy Savant, Valiant Cakefiend, Thomas Oberson, Jason Yanity, Stephen Bonnerman, Kale the Quick, and Neil Blakey Milner, and absolutely everyone who watches, shares, favorites, and subscribes to these videos. Thank you so much.